The Knicks lead 91-79 as we start the fourth quarter. They have been nearly unbeatable when they have a lead heading into the fourth.
C.J. McCollum in his villain arc puts Atlanta up. Brunson to tie the game, and he does!
Ice cold.
Hawks looking to run. Johnson slams it home. Atlanta has its largest lead.
You got to play better with the lead. That's twice in the fourth quarter now. We've done that.
Atlanta comes all the way back and ties the series.
Huge come-from-behind win for the Hawks last night, adding growing scar tissue that the Knicks have endured in postseasons. Remember, 94, Game 5, the legendary Reggie Miller choke game, scoring 25 points in the fourth quarter, giving the choke sign to Spike Lee. That was Game 1 of that series in which they came from way behind. Game 1 of last year's conference finals, also against the Pacers. The Knicks led by 17, but Tyrese Halliburton brought the Pacers all the way back and hit the game winner that sent the game to overtime, and Indiana would eventually win. And then last night, the Knicks with that 12-point lead, the loss tying the Reggie Miller game as their largest blown lead entering the fourth quarter in playoff history. And so we're tied at 1 apiece in that series. DraftKings Sportsbook still has the Knicks as the favorite, but not nearly as heavily so. The last time the Knicks and Hawks played, Trae Young played spoiler for New York. Now it's C.J. McCollum averaging 29 in this series, and after the game, he was asked about going straight up against Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter.
You feel like you were maybe intentionally, maybe not looking to get that matchup against Jalen? I know you said it's not about beating him, but did you like what you had in those one-on-one scenarios when you were get to the room?
What you think?
Was that what you said?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's C.J. McCollum saying the quiet part out loud. That's the first thing you brought up this morning, Alan Hahn. He wanted that matchup with Jalen Brunson. Brunson couldn't stop him, and the Knicks didn't change anything that made a difference.
Yeah, and if you're a team trying to pull off a road win in the playoffs, you're trying to seek out the weakness. What is the weak part of a team? And they look at Jalen Brunson defensively as the weak link on what is a good defensive team. And so they put him on an island, and C.J. McCollum went after him. Not just on that end, but on the offensive end. They were seeking him. They were getting switches. The Knicks were not adjusting to it. This right here, I mean, he's helpless, the middle of the paint wide open. The Hembo gave me this, and this is really good. Brunson defensively in this game struggled. They went after him. The Hawks were 11 of 19 against Brunson for 23 points. C.J. McCollum had 15 of the 23. He was 6 of 9, 6 of 7 from 2. Mm-hmm. And in this series so far, when they're matched up together, C.J.'s 9 of 12 for 22 points in 9 minutes of matchup time against Brunson. They know right there that's the Achilles heel.
All right, Coach McNutt, so tell me what the adjustment is for that as they go. The Knicks go to Atlanta for Game 3 Thursday night.
Well, if you look back at the first half, Greeny, the Knicks did a much better job of making sure that they were in sound help position to avoid that. Like, this is not a secret when you look at how teams go after the New York Knicks. And so they did a much better job in the first half of getting into help position. Now, the wrinkle for the Hawks is they spaced the floor, they spread the floor a little bit more, they put a couple more shooters out there in the fourth quarter, and so that made it different. But it just has to be a collective mindset. You can't leave your guy on an island.
Michael, I want to get your big picture take on the Eastern Conference, particularly this side of the bracket. The Celtics look as though they will likely cruise through the 76ers. And this matchup of the Knicks and Celtics is one I can tell you the people in this city have been anticipating for months.
Anticipating that.
Now, all of a sudden, Atlanta threatens to make this a long series, maybe even win it. I'm not trying to take away that possibility, but certainly at minimum to make the Knicks work hard in this. Give me your big picture take on the Eastern Conference.
Then it's about as wide open as we thought. There's just no great team. And so if you have a night like the Knicks do, and I expect, look, Atlanta's going to have some issues at home. The Knicks are going to figure out some things, right? I expect help is on the way defensively. But look, C.J. McCollum, it's interesting. So the Houston Rockets needed a point guard. Their point guard went down so early. They knew they were going to need a point guard. They get Kevin Durant. They're poised. They think this could be their year to finish in the top 4 and make some noise in the West, even against Oklahoma City and San Antonio. They don't go get C.J. McCollum. He's the person they needed. So Atlanta wisely goes out, gets C.J. McCollum. This is playoff basketball. Having a veteran like that who knows how to not just play his role, but also play your team. And he did that last night skillfully. You can't do it every night. It's not going to happen 4 times, Greeny. But can it happen once more, twice more to get this to a 7-game series? And then what do the Knicks have going forward if Boston, to answer your question about the East, has steamrolled Philly, which it looks like is going to happen?
Can I quickly point out, Boston with their backups winning that last game in Game 82 caused Orlando, Detroit, and Atlanta, New York, which is to their benefit, of course.
Yeah, the way that the seeds broke here, that's how it all falls. Now let me go to the West. Denver and Minnesota, really good game last night. This is such a good rivalry between that great one, Jokic, and this great one, Anthony Edwards. Pick it up 5 minutes in the second quarter. Timberwolves down 1. And look at Ant. Tell me this doesn't remind you of Michael Jordan. Michael, that's exactly what it looked like,
does.
right? Then here's Jamal Murray with the heave. We wouldn't show it to you if it didn't go in. Doesn't seem like any other reason. So that would make it a 64-64 tie at halftime. 5 minutes in the third, Nuggets down a deuce, and it's Jokic. He had a big third quarter, 16, Monica, in the third for the Joker.
Listen, through 3 quarters, he looked absolutely unstoppable, and then things got real in the fourth.
Nuggets by 3 going to that fourth quarter, but now Nuggets lead is 1, 5 minutes to go. Jokic, he would struggle in this fourth quarter. No good. Let's stay with the play. We're going the other way. Get it to DiVincenzo. Jaden McDaniels is all alone under the basket, and Minnesota takes a 1-point lead. Next Denver possession, same score. Jokic, again, no good.
Short.
DiVincenzo, ahead of the floor. Minnesota, a 3-point lead.
We'll take a layup.
2 minutes to go. Timberwolves by 2. Edwards, no. Watch this offensive board. Gobert.
Yeah.
Over Joker. Minnesota by 4.
Big fourth quarter from Rudy Gobert. You won't look
And
at
he
the box score and
bothered
be
Joker.
impressed.
He
Yes, he
really
did.
He
did.
did.
Yes.
Forced some of those misses.
The
not
Joker
there.
dunks it in his face there, but that was his only field goal of the fourth quarter. Jokic was 1 of 7 in the fourth quarter. That makes it a 2-point game. 15 seconds left. Nuggets down by 3. Murray, no. DiVincenzo. Randall, back to DiVincenzo. Dagger.
There it is.
T-Wolves win. And I need an Alex Rodriguez celebration cutaway. Oh, look at him.
There it is.
Look at A-Rod. Celebrating. And after the game, the talking was real.
Yeah. I missed 15 shots tonight, 2 free throws. I'll be better. It's been like a month and a half since I played basketball. I missed it. It's the most fun I have in my entire life. So just being out there, man, I'm enjoying every moment, no matter how I feel. So it's good.
What were some of the keys offensively, like, as to really getting the rhythms? Go out for Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at them.
They're all bad defenders.
Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
They're all
Like
bad
future
defenders.
Halloween costume right there.
Right?
That's real off day. That's almost off day talk in the real playoffs when people actively disliked each other and didn't care that we cared. Right?
Right.
And this was, Anthony Edwards Ant-Man is just starting to get back into it, like he said. I don't think he overstated that at all. So the question is, if Rudy Gobert, how many Defensive Player of the Year awards? 4?
Four.
Rudy Gobert bothered Joker. I can't believe I'm saying that. As somebody who voted for Joker 2 on the MVP ballot.
Right.
He earned it, deserves it to me. But he had trouble last night. I know he missed some shots that he normally makes, but Rudy forced some of those.
Him and Murray in the fourth were just a non-factor.
They were.
Like, they did not score the basketball. They struggled in terms of who was guarding him, and give the Wolves a credit. I think back to last year when the Wolves went on that run. Like, this is a team who we talked about down the stretch defensively can cause some problems. Now, it was between the McDaniels injury and the Edwards injury, but now that they starting to get in form, you got to watch out.
Bottom line, this doesn't feel like a first-round series. It doesn't feel like a series that should happen in the first round. These teams are too good. Both of them are too good for one of them to be going home this early. Who has the advantage now that the T-Wolves have stolen home court?
Well, especially because now they're going to Minnesota, and now they know the formula as well. What you saw in the fourth quarter was a Denver team that wore down. Normally, it's the road teams that wear down in the Mile High City that by the fourth quarter, they're sucking wind. But you saw Jokic short on a lot of shots. He against Gobert, 1 for 8. And Gobert normally was the safety. Like when they played them in the past in playoffs, especially that dramatic playoff series they had that went 7 that Minnesota won at Denver, they had a lot of other guys guarding Jokic, and then they bring Gobert over last minute to take away his airspace. This was one-on-one. These were 2 dinosaurs, 2 centers going mano a mano, and Gobert got the better of him, which was important, I think, for him. So for Minnesota now, you've got the game plan. You know exactly what you need to do defensively, and you've got Ant-Man starting to feel like himself again.
It's a great series. Again, it feels like it's something that should come a little later down the road, but let's enjoy it while we have it. There's one other thing I wanted to get in here today because we have Michael Wilbon, and we don't get a chance to do it that often. The biggest rising star in the NBA, maybe in all of sports, is Victor Wembanyama. Yesterday was officially named Defensive Player of the Year and made history. He is the first player ever to win that award unanimously. He led the league with 197 blocks. Michael Wilbon is in the Hall of Fame, in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I had the honor and the delight of working on the NBA coverage with you for 2 years.
Fun, didn't we?
You've got more stories than anybody covering the league going back to the 70s. What are we seeing in Victor Wembanyama?
A singular talent, personality, attraction, entertainer, great basketball player. I love the fact that he had tears, shed them during the Olympics last year when they lost. Well, didn't they lose the cup tournament game?
Yes.
To the Knicks.
Okay, you know who that reminds me of. I'm old enough that reminds me of young Jordan, young Bird, guys who hated to lose more than they loved to win. Wembanyama has that gene. But the greatness, I mean, the backstory, going to see Olajuwon, spending time with monks. I mean, it's just, this kid is willing and ready and able to mine anything and everything. And there are two athletes right now, to me, that are just on a worldwide stage, almost by themselves. Shohei Ohtani and Wemby. You can take them in any order. If you get a chance to watch them, stop what you're doing and watch them. You don't have to be a Spurs fan. The other night, when you see David Robinson, I've known David Robinson since he was in high school. I covered him when he was a senior in high school in Northern Virginia. I've seen his whole life. For David Robinson, who has a zillion interests outside basketball, right? As great as he was. For David Robinson and Tim Duncan to sit there, that was not some coincidence. These are the old goats watching the Billy Goat. And he is, there's nobody I care to watch right now in any sport as much as Victor Wembanyama.
Box office.
Couldn't say it any better than that. Wembanyama and the Spurs with a 1-0 lead in their series. Take a short break. We're rolling on. Back to football next. The arms